You know, guys, I'm of the belief that as we age, we often get dumber, as in our brains don't work as well as we age. And scientifically, that's actually true. But in the situation of Bill Gates, it couldn't be any more true. I mean, this guy is one of the richest people on the planet. He has a net worth of more than $100 billion. And yet, he doesn't seem to remember what he said last week. He's saying that the reason the world is in the situation it's in today is because wealthy investors are not investing or risking more on clean energy solutions. The irony of him making this comment is truly staggering. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. It's great to see you. Now, Bill Gates, very controversially, he shorted Tesla. In fact, he held the biggest short position in Tesla's history. $500 million short. Now, was early on in the early days. When you consider what Tesla was worth when he shorted them for $500 million, it was a massive short position because today Tesla's worth hundreds of billions. But back when he shorted them, the company was basically about to go bankrupt. And the fact that he did this meant the chances of Tesla going bankrupt were increased. Now, we know that Tesla was obviously the company that, whether or not you hate Tesla or love them today, let's just rewind the clock a little bit and let's have a think about what Tesla really did. Tesla basically got everyone to start buying electric cars. I mean, how many people were buying electric cars in 2016, 2015? Right, they existed. The Nissan Leaf was around. The BMW i3 was around. How many people? BMW made EVs. We got BYD made EVs. Companies made EVs, but they were not. No one was buying them. No one was buying them. No one really started buying them until the Tesla Model 3 came out. And Tesla made what was considered at the time to be one of the best relatively affordable electric cars. And not to mention, Tesla was pushing the narrative that we could move to being electric, that we can move to solar, we can move to battery storage. Tesla's played a massive part in the world going in that direction. And Bill Gates, what did he do? He tried essentially to profit from Tesla going bankrupt. And he, if anything, did the exact opposite to what he's saying. Others are at fault of doing today. I mean, the irony of this is staggering. Not only the fact that Bill Gates is now accusing others of basically doing what he did, but he never really apologized. He never really admitted to what he did, that what he did was really wrong. Bill Gates anticipates missing the 2 degrees Celsius heating goal set by the Paris Agreement, emphasizing the need for rapid global action. Gates has praised the efforts of rich countries in the green transition, but he's called for increased support for developing nations to adapt to climate change. In the New York Times, Gates advocated for wealthy investors to fund transformative green solutions, lifestyle changes, and government incentives to drive a global green transition. Gates believes we're going to miss the global heating goals based on the current rate of the green transition and thinks that billionaires and governments from rich nations could play a major role in global decarbonization. Now, Gates is very interested in this, but he's also interested in investing in things like vaccines. COVID vaccines. I think he does a lot of stuff that, in my opinion, is just a complete waste of time and money. And I often talk about what he does on the channel. I've made numerous videos about some of Bill Gates' ideas that he's invested in. He really invests in a lot of things that he thinks will pay off for him financially. I think ultimately, if he's saying that as billionaires we need to invest in these energy projects, maybe he could consider doing that himself as well. Anyway, Gates recently stated that he expects the world to fall short of the 2 degrees Celsius heating objective set out in the recent Paris Agreement, although he praised the rapid adaptation of several countries attempting a green transition. Now, when he praised these countries, I don't think he really understands what's going on. We know that he doesn't understand what's going on because the countries he praised, the amount of solar and batteries and wind that they have installed is not very significant in contrast to other countries which he criticized. Anyway, in December, Gates said the world is likely to surpass the critical temperature threshold established by scientists to avoid irreversible impacts on people, the environment, and just on the planet. However, he said he was hopeful that climate summits such as the COP would help drive change. Gates stated there is not some binary cutoff where at a certain temperature, everything is horrible. Fortunately, we've made enough progress that we're not going to have the extreme cases like 4 degrees Celsius warming, but sadly, we'll probably even miss the 2-degree goal. So we'll have adaptation as a priority. Gates' assumption is based on the forecasts of several energy and climate organizations. The United Nations Environment Programme warned that the current Paris Agreement pledges, if achieved, are expected to limit global warming to 2.9 degrees, so basically 3 degrees Celsius of warming above pre-industrial levels. If the ideal 1.5 degree warming threshold is not achieved, it will lead to more severe weather events, rising sea levels, and the loss of massive areas of land, as well as several other environmental disasters. It would require people and countries to adapt rapidly and significantly to a new reality to survive. At a climate and growth conference in France, Gates praised the adaptation or the installation efforts of several rich countries to accelerate the global green transition. Among those was the United States. But if you look at the United States' build out of renewables, it's pretty insignificant in comparison to China. I mean, China has installed more solar and wind power, in fact, over the past 12 months than the rest of the world combined. Anyway, Gates said that these efforts should continue and that rich countries should support developing countries in adapting to the climate change being seen. This suggests that several countries are already beginning to adapt, but far more needs to be done to support the global response to climate change. Bill Gates wrote an article for the New York Times entitled, "How I Invest My Money in a Warming World." Basically, espousing how great he is at, helping save the world. In the publication, Gates says that we are not going to be doomed due to failing to achieve optimal climate aims, but we must act wisely in response to an inevitable change to the planet. He believes that wealthy investors should take more risks when it comes to developing transformative green solutions, particularly those that are currently underfunded, such as green hydrogen. So Gates is promoting the build-out of green hydrogen. He also has called on the richest people, the billionaires in society, to change their lifestyles by using sustainable aviation fuel to power private jets, which would reduce emissions and ultimately drive down the price of SAF for commercial flights. Now, I think a much better option than that is just investing in these new electric aircraft companies, which are saying we need investments, guys. We can build electric airplanes. It's commercially viable to even build massive jets that are powered by batteries, and those batteries powered by solar. That would be a much better solution to using so-called environmentally friendly jet fuel, which is not really environmentally friendly at all. But anyway, Gates did also say that the an electric truck, in general, he said it would never work. It was just simply uneconomical. It needed to be powered by hydrogen. Well, now we see the industry moving, even the trucking industry moving into electric trucks. So a lot of the things that he says you kind of has to take with a grain of salt. When it comes to private companies or governments, Gates says they must invest in green products and technologies through schemes such as electrifying their fleets. Companies should reduce green premiums, high prices put on environmentally friendly products, investing in the production of cleaner products to sell, rather than investing in ineffective climate change schemes. Now, to be fair, I probably should be less critical because to some degree, Gates has put his money where his mouth is. In 2016, Gates co-founded Breakthrough Energy Ventures, a fund that has invested more than $2 billion in companies aiming to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The group consists of entrepreneurs, business leaders, and institutional investors looking to bring new zero emissions energy technologies to market. In addition to EVs, Gates has major nuclear ambitions. In fact, he's invested more into nuclear than he has into anything powered by electricity or even into solar. And Gates firmly believes that nuclear could be the biggest solution to the planet's problems. A lot of people think he's wrong. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.